All right, so we're really diving deep today into numerology.
Oh, exciting.
You sent in some articles all about life path number 22.
Right.
You want to know what it means to be this master builder,
Yes.
and you've given us a lot to work with: Pythagorean numerology, Chaldean numerology.
I love that you have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like two different lenses looking at the same,
Right.
fascinating story.
Yeah.
Gives us more to talk about.
It does. It does. It gives us a more well-rounded picture. But for anyone listening who maybe this is their first deep dive into numerology, can you give us a little bit of a numerology 101? Like, what is it? How do life path numbers work?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, numerology is just looking at patterns and meaning in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that they have significance beyond just, math.
Right.
Like they have vibrations and symbolism that can tell us about ourselves, our personalities,
Yeah.
paths in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your life path number, it's like that core vibration for you, a numerological signature that can hint at, your strengths, your challenges, the lessons you're here to learn.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So like reading between the lines of the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, reading through the articles you sent, it seems like there are different ways to calculate these life path numbers,
Yes.
depending on if we're talking Pythagorean or Chaldean.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like picking your map before you go on your journey.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, with your birth date, you actually fall into this really cool category where in the Pythagorean system, you're at 22.
Right?
But in Chaldean numerology, you're considered a 9.
Wow. So even with the same birthday, we could be talking about two different life paths.
Exactly. It just shows you there's no, one right way.
Right.
But today, we're diving deep into the one that really sparked your interest, the Life Path 22, that master builder.
Yes. Let's unpack that title a little bit. What makes 22 so special in numerology?
So in both Pythagorean and Chaldean numerology, 22 is a master number.
Okay.
So it basically means it vibrates at a higher frequency than other life path numbers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, suggesting a greater potential for both spiritual insight and worldly accomplishment. Like, imagine someone who can connect to a higher purpose while also making a real difference here in the physical world.
Okay. So it's not just about building a house, it's building something bigger than themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about legacy. It's about creating something that outlasts you. I'm thinking about Oprah Winfrey. She's a Life Path 22.
Right.
Built this incredible media empire.
Wow. Yeah.
Or even the Dalai Lama,
Mm.
also at 22. Known for peace building globally. These are people who don't just dream big. They make those dreams happen.
Yeah. Inspiring examples for sure. So let's start breaking it down a little bit more. What does the Pythagorean system specifically say about what makes a life path 22 tick?
So the way they see it, 22 is all about manifestation.
Okay.
Like truly tuning your dreams into reality.
Mm.
Ambitious, driven, natural leaders.
Right.
But they've also got this practical side. They're not just all about the big ideas.
Right, right.
They're the ones who get stuff done.
I feel like with ambition, though, there's got to be a flip side to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Their drive can be their superpower, but it can also lead to burnout, stress. One of the articles even compared Life Path 22 to the Fool card in the tarot.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Now that's interesting. I'm kind of drawn to the Fool card.
Yeah.
Because it is that sense of, adventure and the unknown, but it can be a little scary.
It is. It is.
Huh.
Yeah, it's about that balance of risk and potential.
Mm.
The Fool is often pictured about to step off a cliff.
Right.
Blind optimism into the unknown.
Yeah. So Life Path 22s, are they kind of stepping off that cliff too? But it's a cliff of possibility.
Yeah, and they need to watch their step, find that balance between ambition and self-awareness.
Right.
They can't get so caught up in building their empire that they forget to enjoy the journey and take care of themselves along the way.
Right. Find some grounding amidst all that ambition. So that's the Pythagorean take. What about Chaldean numerology? How do they see this master builder energy?
This is where it gets interesting. Pythagorean is all about that ambitious go-getter side of the 22, but Chaldean numerology adds another layer.
Okay, let's hear it.
Gentleness.
Gentleness. Now, that's not the first thing I think of when I think master builder.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sounds a little counterintuitive, but in Chaldean numerology, the number 2, which, 22 is just a double dose of that.
Right, right.
Represents diplomacy, empathy, cooperation. It's about building bridges between people, just as much as it is about structures or systems.
So less hard-charging CEO, more like
Right.
leading with compassion.
Exactly. Using your influence to create harmony and connection.
Mhm.
And actually, Thinking back to the Dalai Lama, he really embodies that beautifully, that vision, leadership, but with this deep well of empathy.
It's not just what you build, it's how you build it, right?
Yes.
But the articles also touched on some potential downsides to this way of being, too. Something about being maybe too trusting.
Right. That's important to keep in mind because that empathy, while it's a strength, can also make them vulnerable.
Right, to being misled or taken advantage of.
That's exactly.
So it's, again, a balancing act, trying to be both trusting and discerning, a visionary, but with your feet on the ground.
You got it. It's a theme we see again and again with 22s, that need for balance.
Okay.
They need to honor that gentle nature without becoming naive.
Right.
Blend their idealism with a healthy dose of practicality, discernment.
So this master builder thing,
Yeah.
it's pretty nuanced.
It is.
We've got ambition, empathy, finding that, that sweet spot between idealism and being grounded. But how does that actually show up in someone's life?
Right.
Like, what are some of the careers or paths that a life path 22 might resonate with?
Well, it makes sense that a lot of 22s are drawn to things where they can have a real, tangible impact on the world. Like they're builders, organizers. So you often see them in fields like architecture, entrepreneurship, even politics.
Okay, so literally shaping skylines or companies or policies.
Exactly.
Wow. What about like relationships with all
Yeah.
this building going on?
One of the articles talked about how people on this path, they tend to be incredibly loyal partners, really supportive.
Okay.
But, and this is a big but,
Yeah.
they have to watch out for their ambition taking over. That work-life balance can be tricky.
Yeah, it's that classic struggle, but maybe like amplified.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Because they have that drive. So being intentional about, really nurturing those relationships, not getting lost in the project. It's like they're building this amazing house, but forgetting to invite anyone to live in it.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. It's about that harmony,
Right.
achieving your goals and having those fulfilling relationships.
And it made me think about those examples we talked about before. Oprah, huge in media. The Dalai Lama, promoting peace, like two totally different expressions of that life path 22.
Totally, and that's what's so cool about it. There's no one right way to be a 22.
Right.
One person might build a business, another might devote themselves to, humanitarian work.
Yeah.
It's all about tapping into your own talents, your vision.
One thing that really stuck out in the articles was this idea of mastering your thoughts. Like they even said that 22s can kind of will their thoughts into reality.
Yeah.
Is that like too out there? Or is there something to that?
It's not just wishful thinking, I'll say that.
Okay.
But it gets into this concept of manifestation, which comes up a lot with master numbers, especially the 22.
Yeah.
That maybe there's this heightened ability to influence the world around them through their beliefs, their intentions.
So not like magic, but more about if you align your thoughts and actions.
Right, exactly.
And you actually believe it.
Yes.
It can become more likely to happen.
Exactly. It's like that whole thing, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
22s have this potential to make their vision happen, but it takes that focus, effort, and believing in themselves.
Makes me think about those like vision boards people make. Is that part of it?
Oh, I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, vision boards, if you use them right, can be a really powerful way to get in tune with what you want.
Okay.
Surrounding yourself with those images, affirmations, it's like you're kind of programming your subconscious and raising your vibration to attract it.
So maybe a little woo-woo, but
Yeah.
I'm open to it.
Right?
Like sending that message out to the universe of this is what I'm creating.
Yes, and the more specific you can be, the better. It gives you and the universe that clarity. It's about becoming a conscious creator.
Okay. So much more to this master builder idea than I thought.
It is. It is.
It's not the thing you build, but the building of a life. Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'm still a little unclear on from the articles, they mention a connection between 22 and the number 4. How does that fit in?
Well, that's an important one. So in numerology, 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Right.
Right. So that essence of the 4, it's all wrapped up in the 22.
Okay.
Think of it as the foundation that the master builder uses to build on.
So the 4 is like the grounded practical energy that helps those big ideas actually take form.
Yes, exactly. What does the number 4 make you think of?
I don't know, structure, stability.
Yes, all of that. Hard work, focus on the material world. It's about showing up, putting in the effort, getting things done.
So the 4 is like essential for a 22 to actually get things done.
Totally. It's like, yeah, you can have the most amazing blueprint,
Right.
but you need that construction crew to actually make it a reality.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay, but I think the articles also mentioned that this 4 energy can be, I don't know, kind of a challenge for 22s.
It can. Because as much as the 4 brings that structure, if it goes too far, it can become rigid.
Oh, okay.
And 22s, with all that vision, they might feel limited, stifled.
Right. So they need that foundation, but they also need that freedom to like go beyond.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
It's about that dance between structure and freedom. Planning, but also spontaneity. It's something they might be figuring out their whole lives.
Yeah. So knowing all this about the 4, how can that help someone on this path to navigate it better? I feel like this is where the rubber meets the road, right? Taking this knowledge and actually doing something with it.
100%. And awareness is the first step. Once you see this dynamic between the expansive 22 and the more grounded 4, you can start making choices.
Okay, so someone's listening, they're like, yeah, this 22 thing, this is me. What's a really practical thing they can do to find that balance?
Embrace planning, organization,
Okay.
but with a twist.
Okay.
Take those huge goals and break them down.
Right.
Smaller steps, actionable steps. It's like creating a roadmap
Right.
that honors the vision but also the details.
So you don't lose sight of the big picture, but you're giving yourself those steps to actually get there.
Yes.
It's like, what are those systems people use for work projects?
Project management. Yes.
Yeah. Breaking it down, deadlines.
That's the 4 energy,
Yeah.
working its magic.
Right.
And it's not just for work, right? Think about it for personal stuff.
Yeah.
Relationships, creative projects.
It's like that blueprint, but for your whole life.
Yeah,
But with room to play around a little bit, get inspired along the way.
exactly. And for 22s especially, that self-care is crucial.
Right.
Because all that building,
Yeah.
it's a recipe for burnout.
Yeah, if you don't take a break.
Exactly.
Wow, this deep dive has been really eye-opening. We covered so much: numerology, life path numbers, what it means to be a master builder, that 22 energy. We talked about ambition, about empathy, finding that balance, even the power of our thoughts. But before we wrap up, what's like the most important thing for our listener to take away from all this?
It's easy to get caught up in the labels,
Yeah.
the interpretations.
Yeah.
But numerology, it's really a tool for self-discovery.
Right.
It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your challenges, not being defined by them. So whether you connect with that go-getter Pythagorean 22 or that empathetic Chaldean 22 or your own unique blend,
Yeah.
just remember, you are the architect of your own life. You have everything you need to build something incredible.
So go out there and create it. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for this deep dive. And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.